Welcome to the show.
Thank you. That's very encouraging to hear those nice words that you just said. We were on TV a lot the other night. It didn't look great.
A lot of memes. A lot of GIFs and memes.
Fox Sports put out a real good TikTok with some sound, some creative sounding to the bouncing of the rear end of the car.
Let's get this thing dialed in for you, brother.
See, Corey had the same problem the year before.
I did.
He just had practice. So
yeah, it doesn't drive good like that. You can't drive a four-tired car with only two tires on the ground.
Yeah, and look, again, I've obviously never driven this car here before, so
that's not how it's supposed to behave.
I'm thinking, well, maybe this is normal, but it didn't look like anyone else was not able to see because it was so bouncy. So, it was sweet.
But you've had several rounds of practice since then.
Several rounds, yeah.
How's the hot rod, how's the wagon, as you call it, today, leading into the Great American Race?
I mean, honestly, it drives great, but that might mean it has too much downforce, and it might be a little draggy. It feels like we're dragging a little bit of a parachute, but honestly, I feel way better than when we first got into it, which is nicer. Like, I feel comfortable enough to where if we start tomorrow, don't mind that we're, because we're not last. Travis is last.
Okay.
And so we have some cars. We have some cars behind us, thankfully.
Yeah.
But the only thing is that I desperately need those cars to continue to remain behind me as sort of a boost.
Well, so you talk about, right, you're very familiar with the downforce drag balance, right? You've led many laps to the Indy 500. How many Indy 500s have you been in?
This will be my 10th this year.
Holy mackerel, right?
Crazy,
a seasoned veteran, the most American patriot in the IndyCar field, representing for the good guys. But now you're coming over to – there's a whole fleet full of red-blooded Americans out there.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel your chances are?
Honestly, I respect a lot of most of actually everyone in this field. I don't know a lot of them, but I know some of them, and I respect you a lot. I know that, Corey. Very excited to see your first win in the Cup Series this year at some point.
Appreciate that.
It's honestly,
he's just saying that because I've slept on his couch and
slept true in your garage,
in my garage as well. So
yeah. Honestly, man, it's cool, but I haven't learned as much as I would have liked yet because no one wants to run with me. And if you would have seen my car at the duel night, I wouldn't have wanted to run with me either, honestly. So I get that. But even just the short amount of times that I was able to run with a few folks in the first practice session that we had, and actually even at the end of the duel, I only got to run with BJ McLeod, but like just doing that, like I learned a lot because we had kind of sorted out the car towards the end. And then this morning we were following some faster cars than, let's say, my motor vehicle was. And there was a couple laps where we were managing to hang on.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, like I understand this a little bit now. I haven't been out there with 39 other folks yet, and two rows of folks next to each other. But like
you get some more options with other guys out there.
Well, exactly. So I'm just kind of ready to like basically get through the first stage, right? Like that'll be the biggest learning experience for me then.
Yeah.
And I know that we have a good car when we're surrounded by others. When we're by ourselves, maybe not as much. And I feel like you understand what that might mean sometimes through years of experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also people getting comfortable with who you are in the car you're driving as well. And it's also you're at the mercy of they just see the number, right, or the car. It's not familiar. It's not a full-time car, and you're up against that. I wanted you to take a peek behind us right quick because you are very familiar with what Indianapolis looks like during the month of May.
Yes.
Right? And then Labor Day weekend or Memorial Day weekend when it comes down to the show. What does the vibe in Daytona compare to Indianapolis?
That's a great question. I feel like it's very different because the Indy 500 is obviously like the single largest attended sporting event in the world. Like we know there's that vast amount of people, but they don't do as much camping as like we would have here, right? Like the Indy 500, everyone is just there, but like inside the track, the only campers are really just us as drivers. So that means all the people are coming from outside, whereas like so many of these people are already here. They've been here all week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Now there's camping outside the 500, like in the north, the Coke lot and all that stuff, which is amazing. So to kind of see as densely packed as it is here is really cool. And honestly, like the track itself, like when you are out there with other folks, it's fun. It's something that, again, I've watched this race religiously as a fan because I love watching it, and I will always text you before it, and I will always I want to see what's going on. I want to see how it was. And and the strategy behind the racing, the art of the runs, the movement of the air is fascinating for me. And so I've enjoyed learning that. And honestly, as long as we can get, all the laps underneath us tomorrow, that'll be a huge accomplishment for us. And I'll learn a lot.
Oh, you're going to learn a ton over time.
Yeah.
Now you had your fair share of problems in qualifying and in the duels, but Corey has also had those same problems, not maybe in the same 24 hours, but over his career with the oil spillage at New Hampshire and the dampers, which the more sports car we get here, they're dampers now, not shocks.
Oh, yeah.
We've adopted that.
They're shocks.
But what is – I know qualifying was different for you, but what does that feel like, Indy 500 qualifying to Daytona 500 qualifying?
Honestly, it's different because of those 4 laps at Indy are the hardest laps I've ever done in my life. And the car is extremely hard to drive on the absolute edge of extreme pain or success.
Yeah.
And, honestly – here, I feel like when you're a single car, it's maybe just, you're hoping the car was nice in the wind tunnel and everything. And so it's a little bit different, right? Like, I would never, ever say it's easy, right? But it's a different style. It's a different style. It's a different requirement. And there's a lot that we can do in our cars too, like during that qualifying run. We're adjusting roll bars. We can lower the rear out of each corner and then raise it going back into the next one. Like all kinds of stuff that we can do to try to get every 1/10 of a mile an hour out of it. And we're also doing 240 miles an hour. So it's a little bit slightly higher speed.
You're crazy.
And so
now, didn't you have the fastest segment time?
We did have the fastest entry speed into 3. Yeah. Ever. Yeah.
Which was how fast?
243.7.
Oh, my God. Did it feel like different than 220?
Yes. I'd say
it feel like warp speed?
Well, every mile an hour above 235, you can feel like it's crazy. And the wildest part about that lap too is I look back at it now. I was literally sideways out of 2, like completely anus backwards out of 2. But kept in it down because we had a great tailwind and we were flying down into 3. And I was like, well, we'll see how this works. But you know how tailwinds work sometime. Huge understeer into 3. And I was like, well, that lap didn't work out. But it was a great speed.
And it was a great Instagram post.
It was fun. Yeah. We had a nice little statistic. Yeah. Printable graphics. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Travis. What is a win for you tomorrow?
Well, he might have a different set of goals than I do, but. If at the end, for some reason, if somehow we both make it to the end and we could somehow end up side by side across the finish line for 19th place, that would be an awesome success.
Yeah, hell of an Instagram
Like, I tell you what,
post.
if the two of us were somehow side by side and neither of us are on fire, like, it'll be awesome. Like, that'd be the greatest thing ever. I just get all the experience, do the pit stops. Like, pit stops, honestly, probably going to be some of the most difficult ones for me because
you have a pit button.
I like pit speed limiters. Yeah, we use the pit speed limiter. Yeah. But that's what I worked on a lot this morning in practice was pit speed, breaking in there, breaking points.
What was hard about it?
Well, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
You just have to use your foot, and I feel like –
Are you dragging brake?
I wasn't dragging brake, no.
Brake.
Well, see, my brake pedal's real soft.
Because if not, it'll buck on you.
Yeah, but my brake pedal, I don't know. It's too long.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what you probably should do.
No, I appreciate it. I'm going to try that.
Okay.
I assume. I'm going to try it on a pace lap.
The brakes as well if your brake pedal's
We've done it 3 times. Yeah, the brakes are pretty long. They haven't come back yet. But I hope they end up being there. They would be nice to use them at some point, but you know.
It would be.
Yeah, but that's going to be the goal is to just get through it all. And you know how hard that is, but I've seen so many of these races where the last 10 laps there's about 10 cars that you haven't seen the entire day.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did they get there?
That's usually me.
It's usually you. Yeah. It was always Landon Castle as well. Like, you'd be like, how did they end up there? And so I want to be one of those guys.
Yeah, and you're more than capable of being one of those guys.
Well,
you can get the job done.
How much have you and Travis drafted together on? I see you guys are iRacing buddies.
Well,
and you were teammates at Nice.
Yes, we were. I won $1 from him. Yeah, beat him in a truck race.
Did you? Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah. Sad loss for him, honestly, because he had some NASCAR experience before. But that was actually one of the most fun weekends I think I've ever done. And we didn't even get to practice. We didn't even do anything. We just went to Vegas, had a great time, and went racing.
That's when he base jumped out of the hotel.
Well,
right?
we were going to. We had parachutes.
You said we?
You were going to do it?
Well, I don't know. I was not going to do it. I was going to be the guy like holding the phone. You know what I mean? I definitely wasn't going to jump out of that darn hotel.
Didn't he not?
No, we were going to, I think. But, yeah, no.
Of course.
There were parachutes, and there were men with parachutes that were there. But the thing was, at 2:30 in the morning, there was one of them police cars right down on the landing zone. And I don't know why they were down there.
Kind of hard to get away when you're parachuting down.
Yeah. But back to your original question.
Yeah.
No, we have not done any iRacing practice. He called me 2 days ago, or a few days ago, and I was already in Florida because we were testing in Sebring this week in the Indy car. And he's like, "Hey, man, I'm jumping on iRacing. You want to jump on with me?" I was like, "Nah, I'm already in Florida. Sorry, man." So he was going to try. We were going to put in our sim efforts, but it didn't
like everybody else and sold your rig when COVID was at
Yeah,
exactly. I don't use that thing anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big gamer, though.
Oh yeah, big streamer, gamer. We love to get in the octagon on the internet there.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. I'm gonna ask you the same 3 questions. Hopefully, you prepared some answers.
Okay, I did not.
One car, one track the rest of your life.
I want to do the Le Mans 24-hour race. That's the
in a prototype.
Honestly, I would do it in anything because that's my Triple Crown, right?
No.
Yes, prototype. Yeah, so I want to be in the best prototype, whether it's let's say a GM product because we're faithful.
Yes.
A GM prototype, that'd be awesome. That'd be the Triple Crown, Indy 500, Daytona 500, Le Mans 24-hour race.
Yes.
I feel like that would be cool to do that in life. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I want to do that.
What's the most embarrassed you've ever been at the racetrack?
The duel 2 nights ago.
You made it. What do you mean?
That was a really bad scene. I was like literally the only car just watching everyone drive away from me. I have never felt worse in my entire life.
You could
honestly.
See it on your face when you got out. You were like,
everything.
"Yeah, I made it."
But I didn't know because like I made it and everyone's happy, but I was like, I hate what just happened. Like I love it because I was so happy. I was crying on the back straight, but I was also like, gosh, that didn't look great. I mean, like,
your mom hugged you. Your mom was excited to hug you.
Which is cool. Like I know, happiness.
You're just straight-faced.
But I'm a competitor, so I'm like, man, I really looked awful out there. And I found the toxic side of NASCAR Twitter, too, after that, too. And I was like,
they're brutal.
It's an awful – there's some awful folks out there that are just discovering me for the first time as well. They don't know I have diabetes. I struggle with a lot. You know?
I'm a human, people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to live a dream here. Like, I put a lot of work into this. It's just tough, and I've tried hard, but that was pretty embarrassing.
There used to be a page that had a Corey caution. Yes or no?
Bro, there was a Twitter page somebody made that said, "Did Corey wreck?"
Oh, it was just yes or no.
Yes, every week. Yes, no, yes, no.
That's creative. I don't know you as a wrecker, though, so shame on them.
You should have been here the first couple of years.
Yeah,
it was tough.
That's true. Yeah.
It was tough.
So that was probably it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really do think I felt so sad about what was going on. I could probably think of a couple other ones.
The weekend's only going to continue to get better, my friend.
But that's the thing. It's been it's been gloriously better since then.
And Sunday,
everything happens for a reason. You know?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Right? And you start the weekend down here.
It's always
you make the race
before the dawn, as they say. You know what I mean?
The sun is coming up, my friend.
The sun's right up there.
The sun is right up there.
It's going to be a day race.
Last one, and you have I think your IndyCar career and my NASCAR career are very similar in a lot of ways.
I would agree, yeah.
Scratch, claw,
not
the best opportunities, in and out, trying to get partners. You got bitnile.com helping you out now. Those guys have continued and continue to grow your opportunities. What was because I can say that I still don't feel like I ever made it because I still feel like I have a long way to go, and I feel like you feel the same. But is there a moment, whether it was your first 500, what was there a moment like, oh, I've made it to what I've been working for my whole life?
You know, it's a great question because I think I could go back to my first Indy 500 but I was 21 and I was still racing full time in Europe trying to be a Formula 1 driver. I was like, trying to be a Formula 1 driver. I was a test driver over there. I had we were doing well and did the 500, but I didn't really get to appreciate it, I think, as much as I could have because literally the next weekend I went back to Europe and I was like, okay, all right, that was great. See you guys later. So I think my first podium in IndyCar was probably like the 2016, my rookie year, like when I actually finally got a full-time ride. Like when I got to be on the podium, it was Sebastian Bourdais, me, and Juan Pablo Montoya. And I was like, well, these guys have done a lot in life. And like I was 24 or whatever it was. And so that moment, I think, was something where I was like, this is cool. Like we're here now. You know what I mean? Like we're now fighting against guys that I've grown up, watching and it's pretty cool.
Love that. I love that our Stacking Pennies listeners got to know a little bit about Conor Daly. He's one of my all-time favorite just dudes in general because we're out in the streets and we're in the trenches trying to make it.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
If you see somebody bullying him on Twitter, stick up for him.
Yeah,
he's a man.
I mean, I'll get in the weeds on Twitter, honestly. I started responding to some of these people. I got real deep in the weeds. And apparently also NASCAR Twitter likes that too. So
they do. They'll eat it up.
Yeah.
But don't give them any ammunition.
I don't care. I'll feed them anything they want.
Fire something
I got nothing to lose. I'm in the no F's given part of my life, as they say. You know what I mean?
So earlier this week, you were in Sebring testing the Indy car.
Yeah.
First IndyCar race of the season. Fred Carpenter Racing again. Fires off when?
March 5th at St. Petersburg, Florida. Street race for us. So everyone tune in if you don't watch IndyCar racing, because honestly, if you're a NASCAR fan, you might enjoy some IndyCar racing. I like to watch a bit of both. I watch some Formula One. I watch NASCAR all the time. Yeah. It might be fun for everyone. Who knows?
It's gonna be fun now because you can root for Conor each and every weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you got a dog in the fight.
We got a dog in the fight.
Conor Daly is your guy, because he is a dog.
TheBitNow.com number 20.
That's right.
We're 50 here, 20 there.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So root for me tomorrow, though.
Yes.
You don't have to root for him. You can root for him in IndyCar races. And
if I see Corey at all tomorrow, I'll have a great day. It'll be an awesome day.
The old Celsius Chevy's going to be in the win tomorrow, boys.
I can't wait. If you're in Victory Lane, I'm going to make my way there as fast as possible.
In your fire suit.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to kind of have a group hug.
I hope so, yeah, and a couple beverages of sorts.
Several.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big, big day for the 65th Daytona 500. Travis Pastrana, Conor Daly, thank you for jumping on Stacking Pennies. Hope you guys enjoyed it.